There are a lot of people. I usually get DMs about what do these songs mean? What do these songs? What are these songs talking about? Is Nazar like a love song? No, they are not. I would urge the listeners who don't yet know what the songs are talking about. I would urge that they go listen to it. बहुत ध्यान देके just maybe read the lyrics instead of like listening to the song, and then revisit the song and just whatever I've talked about, maybe try to feel it. And if you can feel it, maybe just I hope it brings about certain awareness within people. It brings about certain, it highlights these problematic niches in our society that still exist, and hopefully we can do something about it together, if not individually. So मैं हूँ दर्जी, एंड आज मैं अपना गाना बाजार ब्रेक डाउन करने वाला हूँ इनकलाब डिसाइफर पे. So this track is from my album Awaaz, and Awaaz is basically an album which explores the effects of a patriarchal society that we've been living in through generations. सिर्फ इंडिया में नहीं, पूरे दुनिया में it's been almost the norm since till about the last century or something. I think this idea to explore this concept came to me after the aftermath of the Hyderabad rape case that happened in 2019. I was very affected by it. Unlike पहले जब मैं छोटा था, and I would hear about these things, they just seemed like news, but this was different. So Awaaz is basically an album which discovers and expresses all of these concepts and brings it out through the first person perspective. I'm singing as a woman in the album, and Bazaar is specifically a song which explores one specific facet of this whole patriarchal domination that the album is talking about. So Bazaar hai, basically it's about sex trafficking. That's what the song is about. It's not just about the repercussions of it or the legality of it or the morality of it. I've tried to take it as an exercise in empathy. Writing the song was just me trying to put myself in someone's shoes who's been through that situation and forced into prostitution against your own will. That's what I have tried to imagine while I was writing. And so let's begin the breakdown. खाई मैं खाई, खाली मैं खाली, बिकी हद तेरे, खुली बाजारी. So खाई मैं खाई means it's basically like how the woman is feeling inside. I'm feeling empty. I'm feeling like an abyss, a void is into me because of this whole situation that's happened with me. And khali mein khali, again, I'm empty, and I've been sold by you. I've been sold into a place that I don't want to be in. I've been like my rights have been taken away from me, and I've been sold into a place I don't want to go. I've been pushed into a situation that I don't want to be in right now. O raaton ki rani, dekhe duniya sari, bajti hai tali bari bari bari. This brings attention to the act of sexual intercourse that's happening, involuntary sexual intercourse. She doesn't want to be in that situation, but every single night she's been pushed into this against her own will, and she's going through the same routine again, again, again. And it's just basically a call to the reality of the situation, that it's equally disturbing and equally mundane and equally pointless for her, and she's just closing in. And this is not just like some specific woman, it's about all the women who are in this specific situation. भीतर शहर में बैठा है एक शिकारी, लगती है भारी उसकी निशानी. Now this is going, there's like a reference to the guy or the group that has abducted her into this situation, who's kidnapped her or who's pushed her into this situation. A lot of times these women are very young, बहुत छोटी होती हैं उम्र में, and they don't know what's happening. The people who have pushed her into this situation, they are being referred to as hunters. They're spotting weak prey. They're spotting weak people who they can go ahead and do this whole business that they're running with. वो जुआरी पूरा जाली करता है मनमानी, ये जंजीरें उसी ने तो है डाली. And again, this is again like continuing from the previous one, where this is like a gambler who's just a fraud, and he thinks he's doing something, like he's earning money or whatever, but he's just playing with people's lives. And उसने जंजीरें डाल दी हैं in औरतों के ऊपर, and they've just, they have nowhere to go, they have nowhere to run, there's no one to hear their voice. वो ही बहलाए, वो ही फुसलाए, वो सपना दिखाए, फिर अंधेरे में ले जाए. So this is specifically the act of abduction taking place. This is where the abduction has been taking place, or some woman has been made a fool of, and she's been pushed into this. So सपने दिखाते हैं कुछ लोग, या फिर बच्चों को they show them some toy or some prize or some gift or something, and they just lure them into this world which is very dark. पास आए, मुस्कुराए, उसकी आंखें तड़पाए, उसकी सांसें मेरी गर्दन है जलाए. Now we get into what's happening in the rooms in those nights that was being referred to in the starting of the song. I try to write uh, in such a way that ये शायद पहली बार है उस लड़की का, and she doesn't know what to do in this situation and what she must be feeling. And it's not very descriptive. It's more about innuendos. It's more about what's between the lines, rather than talking about what's happening explicitly, talking about what's happening. So she's feeling a lot of fear. She's the dude might be staring at her. She's feeling afraid. He's smiling. He thinks he's gotten some kind of a prize or something. He's smiling, and जो वो औरत है वो डर रही है. She's like, as and he keeps coming closer, and that's what I've described in the paragraph. He keeps coming closer, and she can feel his breath on her neck, and उससे she feels like she's like burning and melting from that breath. She's not, sometimes it's not a welcome sensation to her. वो बिठाए, वो लिटाए, ये दीवारें वो रटाए, एक ही नाच हर बारी वो नचाए. This verse is basically calling out to वो कितना routine business हो गया है. It might become like a routine thing, and it might become a daily thing, and this it's just wild for that person to be in that situation, and she doesn't know what to do. Her mind, I thought about, जब मैं लिख रहा था मुझे लगा कि she might recede into herself. She might go back into herself. She might recede into herself. She might just close off her mind. So that's where when the act is going on, the sexual intercourse is going on, she's just looking at the walls, and she knows every inch of the walls. She knows every nook and cranny of the walls, and she's जो last two lines है उसमें लिखा है कि एक ही नाच हर बारी वो नचाए. So basically it's just a thing which happens again, and she has no control over it. लगती मैं नकली कठपुतली, जो उसकी तारें बदन पे कसली, उसके इशारों पे ही अब मैं चलती. Again, she's just done for. She's just like doing what he's telling her. Her life revolves around being caught and trapped by these men, and being able to do whatever they want her to do. That's what basically it comes down to. कमरे में इस कहर में पर्दे में लिपटे ही हम हैं, इस ज़मी पे सारे बिखरे हुए गम हैं. चार दीवारी में रोज़गारी, देखो ये किस्मत है कितनी काली, मेरी आज़ादी उसने रोज़ है टाली. She might be given some hope by these people that हो जाएगा कुछ, you will be free, you will like, we'll do so much for you. She might be very much in the hopes that someday that day will come, but that day doesn't seem to be come. That day is not, it doesn't come, it doesn't arrive, and these folks, they are not doing anything to ease her pain. They are not doing anything to ease her torment. They won't, because they are the ones who brought this whole situation onto her in the first place. And वहाँ पे और ये चार दीवारी में रोज़गारी, that's basically talking about how her life is revolving in these four walls and what happens in these four walls. Her entire future looks bleak, her entire future looks black, and there's only an outside intervention that can really bring an end to this situation, but that doesn't seem to be happening. Sonically, I was trying to go for a warm, fuzzy, disco-y feeling, very, very splashy. The sounds themselves were very bold. They were very on your face, and very characterful, if you say. And while making the album, I was very sure that the lyrics and the music would not really sync up with each other, because the lyrics can be very morbid if someone goes and just like reads the lyrics without listening to the music. So I wanted just these two things just juxtaposed together, overlaid together, one on top of each other, and become a very unique thing on its own. When I thought about the name of the track Bazaar, because because of all the themes, I was immediately drawn to some Rajasthani sounds and folksy sounds going on. But I also wanted it to be a very nice, uh, EDM slash folk, Rajasthani folk slash, some downstep slash all these different influences. So I tried to bring them all together, and I think I did accomplish something, because देखा जाए तो starts off with those Rajasthani sounds that I talked about, and then the lyrical content comes in, and then it goes into sort of like a drop, if I can say, if I can call it that. And I think it all came together nicely. I don't really use samples a lot, but I think I wanted that authentic touch to this. I just mangled a sample and placed it. It just comes in at 2 points in the track, and later on, when we go into the second verse, or I took those vocal chops that I had done, and I did some processing on it. I got creative with it, and at the end of it, I had a sound which was kind of like very small girls. They're just babbling or something, very nondescript. It wasn't lyrical at all. It just sounded like very chirpy and stuff. So I felt that that was really a nice sound. And I think it was fitting with the themes also. It becomes obvious in the end. When the track ends, there's a few seconds where you can hear the sound in its full in its entirety. But otherwise, I think it's hidden from a lot of these people who are listening and paying attention to the lyrics or the drums or whatever. So I was very influenced by retro Bollywood themes in this album. There are numerous places where it's like a throwback to the 70s music, Bollywood music, and I wanted this to look like an old movie poster. The concept was basically very simple. There's this woman who's arising out of flames. She's been through the fire and she's walked through it, and she's coming out of the flames. And there are two side characters in the album art. So there's this guy who's trying to reach out and grab the other woman, and she has this fearful expression on her face, and she's trying to just pull away. I think that's very symbolic of the whole thing that I was trying to go for. And yeah, that's, I think it's very simple. But ज़्यादा कुछ है नहीं album art में. It's just these things again, like the sounds. These are very bold, eye-catching things that just take up all the composition of the album art. I started playing the guitar when I was very young. I think I was 13 or 12 years old or something. And I really took to it, man. It became like the thing that I was looking forward to every single day. And I used to practice for hours and stuff. Later on, just the guitar wasn't enough. I wanted to get into, put my hands into the entirety of music. I started songwriting. Throughout college, I was a songwriter. I used to play my acoustic guitar and sing songs that I had written. And over the years, whatever phase I've been in, there have been numerous influences that come together simultaneously. I think just before I started writing songs, I started listening to Pink Floyd. I used to listen to them for the guitar solos and all that stuff, but this time I was really looking at what's happening in the albums. I think that the conceptual scope of the albums that they made, it really made a lot of difference, and made a lot of mark on me, because I started realizing that okay, a song can be just a song, but a song can be more than a song also, and that's where I like to hit my mark. And फिर उसके बाद college के बाद I started producing. उस time पे there were so many influences that came together. I think I started listening to a lot of house music. I started listening to a lot of sound design based music, for genres which are known for their good sound design. For example, drum and bass or something, and dubstep. So I think a lot of this came together. But I obviously was very much drawn towards songwriting, which is very accessible, which is very simple, which is very effective also. So I would always listen to these old songs to learn about songwriting and how I can incorporate their tricks, so-called tricks, into my own music. And I think it worked. I think all of this came together, and the project came out pretty fine, I guess. So I wanted a very simple word, like a Hindi Urdu word that I wasn't looking for anything specific meaning wise. I just wanted something which was something which had a ring to it. I had a lot of options on the table and I was just going through them one by one. And I remember Parda was an option, and I think somehow like Parde se I came to Darzi and I just like it just clicked. There's no like rocket science behind it. It just clicked. There's no explanation that I had to attach to the name because I think it just sounds beautiful. It just sounds beautiful, and with the kind of music I'm doing, it just fits really well. Yeah, yeah, I tailor stuff. Yeah. After Awaaz, have experimented with a lot of there were these different types of projects that came out. There was Bahabi Hunter, which was like an entirely different sonic space, and these collaborations with Shorty, and they were like very rustic sounding. So I've been working on an album for the last 2.5 years, and it's almost done and it's gonna come out this year. And what I've basically done is, without revealing too much about what it is and what it's not, so the core sound from Awaaz, like these songs like Lata Ka Sapna, Rogue, and Tezab, I've taken these core sounds, identify what makes, even in the song, there's going to be like a section which is the core sound rather than the entire song. So I've taken these core sounds and I've just like gone like gone to 11 on those. It's just and it's a very very long album. It's going to come out this year, 2025 itself, and yeah, that's basically the next thing.